So today I wanted to show you guys how I actually do my on page. I do this for educational purpose in the sense that on page at the very least, for small business owners, most of you guys can do it yourself or otherwise train somebody how to do it. All it takes is a very minimal amount of tools and a little bit of reading and learning. So the primary tool that we're going to showcase today is Page Optimizer Pro. Now, unlike the last time that I mentioned this, I actually am affiliated with Page Optimizer Pro this time, so thanks, Uncle Kyle. Appreciate that. You can check out my affiliate link below if you're so inclined to check out POP and support the channel. So what I'm gonna actually do here is start from the very, very top, just so we're covering every single thing. This is where we slap in our domain. .com. This will be the domain name we're using. What's the name of it? We'll just call it Google. Now you'll be greeted with this. This is our project screen, right? Go in here, new page. This is where the fun begins. So as we load up our stuff here, there's gonna be kind of some research in our offhand, if you will. Today I had the fortune of working with a couple of guys who were willing to let me use their content to show off the process today. So we'll go over that a little bit down the line. So the research portion of this is kind of gonna be dependent on who you are and what you prefer to do. Some people may prefer to use SEMrush and utilize maybe the keyword magic tool to help them figure out what they're doing, the intent of what they're doing, and what co-occurring key phrases they should be using. For me, today I'm going to be just using very simple practical instances. So for the sake of example here, we're going to use a generic one that I wrote for a gentleman today. He purposely requested that I do not include his brand name. He didn't feel like giving it. I don't know, whatever. I did ask. So our primary keyword is, so I went ahead and just kind of stuffed it in here a little bit. Even though this is kind of redundant anyway, I just want to make sure that it properly picks up and catches the non-qualified ones, that is to say the ones that don't have location. I want to make sure that it separates that count for me. Overall, when you kind of do semantic stuffing like this, the end result is that it'll still give you kind of the same counts. Like, it won't just add one because you added it. If other guys aren't using it, it'll actually tell you 0. So in this case, I'm not working on a live site, so you go ahead and check a box right down here. It says I haven't built this page yet. Easy. There's a bunch of fancy bells and whistles in here, but overall, you don't really need to do too much too fancy. You will notice, of course, there is a credit cost to certain actions anyway, but again, it's just fancy bells and whistles, really. I think it really gets the job done without most of this most of the time. It's just niceties, really. You can also, if you so choose, say, hey, I have my own list of competitors, like I want to be sure about it, but generally, when it grabs it for you and you say, I want to choose my own, it'll give you the list. And this is usually pretty accurate based on manual comparison. Like, I've actually gone and looked manually, and this is pretty well accurate. Again, for the sake of example today, we'll just use our actual top 3. Let's go for top 5. I'm feeling fun, right? So 3 to 5 is a reasonable spread to do. Again, it kind of averages out to be the same no matter what. So while this does its thing, you guys like coffee or tea? I like, and then if you want to do a little focused analysis, in some cases, it might make sense to do 1 or 2 of these if you like. So we'll go ahead and pick the actual top guy for the sake of example today. And you'll see within these variations, right, some stuff kind of doesn't make sense or doesn't belong. Sometimes it depends on the scenario. So this has a branded term in it, Bluegrass Kitchens. I believe that's a branded term. So I'm going to toss that out. And the rest of these are entirely sensible to me. So we'll just go ahead and move on. Same thing, Bluegrass Kitchens, I don't think that's us. And the rest of this is sensible to me. Obviously, as descripted, you can add anything that you know belongs here or otherwise remove anything that doesn't belong here. In many cases, you don't have to get too fancy with it. That's one of the things I love about this tool. It's pretty plug and play in general. The content is kind of easy. And we'll open up our report. So now once we're greeted with this, the first thing that I would do if I was actually writing it out is I would pop this bad boy open right here, the content editor. Boom. This right here will allow you to basically throw in your content and adjust it on the fly. And so what a easy and effective writing process might be for a lot of guys, in case you're not already doing it, is rough draft with AI, humanize it, right? Make it make sense, obviously. It needs to read well. And then bring it over here to actually optimize your word and heading count. Back out here again, this is kind of the same stuff that's on the live editor screen. So there's only one more thing I want to point out for you guys. It's going to be the page structure tab. Right here, you'll have content prompts, related keywords. Here's what some of your other competitors' headings look like. And it'll give you a quick little overview of some stuff from page structure. But if we come over here and hit this other button, this is where you get everything at once. So you got all your headings, right? Here's your P tags, your A tags, your images, your bold, your italics, so on and so forth. These two things are all you really need for creating an optimized either commercially intended page or informational supporting page. There are some odds and ends to this that I do want to make sure to point out. I don't want to under-explain how I do things. Was just throw in funky information. What I would do is actually just go out and check. So we'll look at the actual top 3 guys now. Obviously, I did this. And we'll use our free tools. I talked about this previously, but we regularly use SEO Pro and SEO Quake. And then you can basically just manually count for yourself. Okay, here's our amount of H tags, and then how many of them are optimized, how many keywords are in headings and which headings. And you could also do a little bit of double checking on your overall word count suggestion, because again, sometimes you get thrown funky numbers. So in this case, this guy is kind of part of what's throwing things off, because the other guys have much less overall content. Just to give you a direct example. For this guy, we went with 2,000 words so that we can both be within the reasonable average that Google's actually rewarding, as well as keeping our density level high. To give you guys a quick look at the final product, this is what one of my clients today received. So you can see again, it's just generic. We didn't include branding, although typically I do suggest, yes, we do include our branding because it matters. The association to the name definitely matters within our content. Repeating to Google who, what, when, where, why we are in various ways in various places is obviously to our benefit in 99% of cases, especially given that sometimes overall word counts are very variant. It's just an easy way for you to kind of bump that overall word count up without otherwise ruining the readability or the SEO. And then what I'm going to do actually, guys, is I publicly shared this over on Facebook. If you guys want to go check out what I'm doing over there, as well as any other social media, I got a whole variety of stuff. I gave this out for free education, basically, with the permission of the clients. And I'm going to share it today with you guys down below. I'm going to stick it on the website so that you guys can have it whenever you need it, share it with a friend or whatever you want. This will just be to give you an example of what our reporting looks like, how we do things, and how you might be able to do things for yourself. I gave the guy some just quick little notes. Sometimes I get deep with these, sometimes I don't. So I just let them know, hey, this is what we did for the word average, because it's throwing, it was throwing a deviant number and I don't want to overwhelm and confuse them. So I just gave them a quick personal breakdown. And then I just discluded that so that they weren't seeing the red number and they were seeing the value here. So again, I just showed, here's what all of our optimized counts look like for the content that is attached. This guy now has the loose outline for whatever he wants his final actual branded product to be. While that might move word counts around a little bit, I don't think a little branding is going to hurt us. So generally, I think this is cool to ship it on over. And hopefully this helps that guy out. And I hope that sharing the content and reporting with you guys will also help you out a little bit. If you have any questions, anything that I didn't cover, you can go ahead and leave it as a reply down below. You could also find the link to this content as well as the other piece of content that we did today for a silver subscription service, which is an interesting one. I don't get those every day. I enjoy doing that. Check it out for free. It'll all be down below. Thank you very much. Hope this helped, and I'll see you guys later.